Welcome to Mainline Baits Carp Fishing TV, and you join me on a February session. Now, I'm at Linear Fisheries, but probably not Linear Fisheries as you know it. Now, they have 5 new lakes, 3 of which are coming online as a day ticket fishery in around about May, and you join me on Tar Farm 5. Probably around 10 acres in size. Now, I know absolutely nothing about this place, apart from, seeing the topography lake map of the lake. That's pretty much where I'm at now. I've sort of found my swim based on that map. Now, if you can imagine Hardwick Smiths, it's very up and down, very deep water one side, very shallow water the other side, lots of bars and stuff. This is very much a replicator of that. You've got some very deep water here, up to sort of 30 foot in places, and I've sort of picked my swim, trying to angle for the shallowest water for this time of the year, and hopefully we'll be on some carp. But I'm gonna knock a few solid bags up, get them in position, and then keep my eyes open, because you never know what's gonna happen on a new venue. Well, that is 3 rods, absolutely perfect. We'll go into tonight confident. Hopefully we'll see a few as well. Good luck, girls.
Oh, bosh, there's one. Show that one, good done.
Well, good morning, and yeah, that was a bit more productive than I expected for a February night. Yeah, several fish in the night, and then the old heavens opened and we had to sort of beat a retreat to our tents, and we were left with no rods in the water. But it's now first light and we are very much looking forward to getting the rods back out. Now, as I mentioned yesterday, I started with the solid bags, and yeah, because the action is, fairly productive, I'm going to change over to a bit simpler quick change rigs. So I'm gonna get this rod here back out there, and then we'll talk about these little quick change rigs and the hook bait choices as well that I've made. So let's get this back out there on the money. Well, here's the remains of last night's mix. Now, I only introduced probably 10 spoms, but yeah, I caught a fair few fish off that 10s bombs, and to be honest with you, the fish that I caught were on the slightly small side of what I was expecting, and I want to drag some sort of the bigger ones in, you know. I think they're being attracted by the, you know, the corn, the hemp, and the pellets as well. So I'm going to go out with an all-out boilie approach and try and see if we can get through to some of these, yeah, these better ones, you know, because there's plenty of 20-pounders in there. And to be honest, the weather today is absolutely brutal. I think Storm Dudley is going to whip through at about 4 o'clock, be fairly windy, which will also create quite a lot of undertow, you know, and hemp and stuff. You know, I'm fishing in 10 foot of water. It could easily start drifting in that undertow and end up miles away from my spot. With the boilies, you know, that's going to go straight down and be fishing next to where my rigs are. So I've got a little bit of hemp and corn left in there. I'll leave that in there for good measure, nothing wrong with that. I'll introduce though another good couple handfuls of boilie. Give that a good stir up, and more importantly, a bit of hybrid glug, you know. It's quite deep, 10 foot. I want them to find it. And the only way through that is smell. So we've got a bit of that in there. Let's give it. There's nothing wrong with adapting your mix, you know, to what you're catching. Sometimes I take out hemp and corn because the bream are a pain. In this case, I'm just getting the slightly smaller ones, but it's mainly because of that wind, you know, and that is more of a boilie approach. Lovely and smelly. I'll leave that boilie and stuff in there for another couple of hours, let it soak all that goodness up, and we'll get it out there. Well, the rods are all back out, they're absolutely perfect, but I thought I'd run you through the rigs that I'm using now. As I mentioned, last night I did cast out a few solid bags, but I knew that this wind was going to be an absolute nightmare today, and although they caught me fish, trying to tram line 3 solid bags up in, you know, 50, 60 mile-an-hour gusts, I spend half my time in a bivvy probably retying bags. So I've gone for a rig, you know, that's got a few important properties, but it's going to get me bites also, and that is my little sort of multi-combi rig. You know, I hardly get any tangles, if not any tangles with this rig, which is super important. Obviously, it resets very well because it's got a nice stiff boom, and more importantly, you know, because I'm expecting the action to be quite, you know, frantic again tonight, I want a rig that's quick change. You know, all I've got to do with this rig is change the hook and I'm away to go. And yeah, little snowman setup, you know, it's a perfect short rig on a helicopter rig, so I can sit over that little bit of onion weed out there. It's not horrible, it's not unfishable by any means, you know, it's just a little bit sparse on the bottom, but I need a rig that's going to kick out and just sit amongst it, and that does exactly that. I'm also going to fish a little spinner rig, you know, February time, March time, little vibrant pop-ups, they really do come into their own. So a little low-lying pineapple juice pop-up amongst that onion weed, like I said, you know, will nick my bites. But yeah, move away from the solids, mainly because the wind, you know, I want to get through in a spot and bait fairly accurate, and I'm just not going to be able to do that in this kind of wind. So that's when these sort of rigs, you know, accurately fishing will get me loads of bites. well, what a totally different night that was. First night, constant action, slightly smaller fish, and that storm passed through, and yeah, really violent storm, a lot of wind, a lot of turbulence through the water I expect, and the action really slowed up. But since then, it's finally broken. We've got nice clear skies, and yeah, just before first light, we've got ourselves a nice little chunky one, and yeah, what a set of shoulders that is. Absolute stunner. I'm sure that's going to be a right old big one in the future. Fall into a little yellow pineapple pop-up. And yeah, hopefully, you know, we get a nick a few bites today. Like I said, yesterday was just brutal. The weather was just so windy. Even though I was fishing effectively, you know, I've never really done that well when it's really turbulent like it was yesterday. So hopefully we can nick a few more today. But yeah, what a start to the morning, eh? Beautiful fish. Well, unfortunately, that is all she wrote, but look, you can't complain. Several bites in February on a venue that I know absolutely nothing about. I will take that all day long. And you know, I caught on a array of tactics, solid bags, little wafters, little pop-ups. I even tried a zig right at the last depth to try and nick a daytime bite. And for the life of me, I have no idea why I can't get daytime bites, because the night time, when it's been on, they've been having it. Maybe it's a time of year thing, or maybe I've just got the area slightly wrong, but you know, that's all part of the fun fishing, you know. But big thanks to Linear for letting us come over and having a play before opening day. And I'll tell you what, this will be a mega venue, which a lot of people will enjoy going forward. Remember, if you want to watch more videos, subscribe to the channel. We will catch you on the bank soon. Take it easy.